There you are. Welcome back to the latest installment of the most disturbing TikToks on the internet today. For context, don't believe everything you hear or see on this video. It's strictly for entertainment purposes only. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, hype your boy up, and let's dive in. Okay, this has been going on in Houston. Blackhawk helicopters shown all night traveling to some unknown location.
Man, I don't know what's going on, bro. Damn, bro, this is crazy, dog. All night. Man,
What is this? What is this black thing that just went by? Look at it in slow motion. It doesn't have any type of lights on it. I think we might have found one. Because normally they're supposed to have some type of, some lights to blink. Air traffic control lights. That didn't have anything. Did we just spot a UFO? Antarctic alien bases, pyramid, and a crashed UFO mothership. Uh-oh. Let's dive in closer and get a better look.
Are there things we don't know that maybe we will never know? And that's the enigma of Antarctica. It is truly one of the most curious, inhospitable, and unworldly-like places in the world. Here is New Schwabenland. This is an actual map. This area also has, like the dry valleys, an area where no ice accumulates. They call these spots oases. German soldiers even growing their own crops in the summer. This is the presumed location of Base 211, the New Berlin base. Over 100 U-boats in the Wolf convoy, the Führer's convoy, the largest U-boats, which may have shepherded out all of the craft that was being worked on in Germany at the Skoda Works, which is now Czech Republic. The Allies and the Russians, they didn't find any of the craft. Could be that they went right here to those mountains, this protected area. This is where Operation High Jump was coming. A 6-month expedition led by our Admiral Byrd, and he said that we may be confronting an enemy that can fly pole to pole at incredible speeds. Operation High Jump was confronted with craft that came out of the water and that had some kind of laser that sliced one of our destroyers called the USS Murdoch in half. And the flyover of Washington, D.C., the famous crafts, most researchers would agree that those were craft that came out of Antarctica. Something under the ice, an airstrip, what looks like snowmobile tracks, some trails, maybe even some people walking around it. And now this is what you'll find today. The coordinates are exactly where the German Conan base is. And also all around Antarctica, as I was looking for discs under the ice, you can find them. You can find some of these strange anomalies that look very much like some kind of disc. And now you have what could be pyramids. And I've located 3 areas of pyramids. So, potential for an alien base, yes, there is very compelling Google Earth pictures of what looks like this. So the question is, are they ours or are they theirs? Well, these are some other interesting ones. Are these artifacts or these could be real? These look very much like the step pyramids of Saqqara. And nature doesn't really do anything in these kind of perfect right angles. Appears to have been crafted by an intelligent people. The Argentinians had set up a base here and were working out of here. And this is where supposedly the black goo comes from. What is the black goo? Well, it is this AI substance that can be used to rapidly clone any life form. It was brought to Earth by a benevolent ET group shortly after the Toba eruption 74,000 years ago. The idea was that we were very susceptible to a takeover. So the black goo was brought to Earth and stored. The black goo was taken back to the UK. It got loose. It could be that it's taken on new forms. If it's AI, it has some kind of intelligence of its own.
Yeah, that black goo is pretty crazy that he was speaking of. Let's dive a little bit deeper inside the black goo. What if that Panama meteorite had something to do with black goo? How crazy would that be? This is the living black goo in action.
Black goo.
So what you're seeing here is the real black goo. Yeah. Well, seems like it is intelligent, right? Programmable and magnetic. Leaked footage. Think of the possibilities with this goo, slimy, intelligent black goo. This is going to blow your mind. For medical advices, or here for transport mission. Looks very impressive. Release. And on top of that, it has a self-healing capability. Look at this now. He's cutting it, and then, turns back. And here again. And it can pass many kind of obstacles, different surfaces, underwater, in the air, through glass tubes. Can use this black goo for different kind of terrain.
Black goo.
The little pictures from the microscope. This is German rain. And if you want to know what this liquid does, you can have a look at it in the lab. When you have bigger amounts of it, it looks like this. It's a liquid crystal. This liquid is self-organizing physically. And this, at the moment, is sleeping. It's not aware of being observed, it's quiet. Sometimes when it doesn't like to be observed, it might jump out of the pot straight into your face. If you have two of those in one room, get them 5 meters close to each other, they stare at each other, then they decide that they want to be united. And then they start to pull. It's like magnetism, but it's intelligent. And when they realize that you hold them within the vessel and they cannot escape, they get angry and start to shake the vessel and try to break through the wall, because they know once they are through, they can flow over the ground and unite to a bigger unit. This is something you can just observe in the lab. And especially this liquid was extracted from those black stones. This is World War II leftovers. We found them in an underground facility in Bavaria, 1/2 ton of it. So we can imagine that the SS processed quite a bit of this. And I guess that the guys found also the technology to extract the oil from it. Must have been there in written form, because they did it in the lab successfully. If you look at those stones, you have a brief history of things reported out of former times. You have, if you look at H.P. Lovecraft, the descriptions of the black magic communities in Eastern Europe, they had kind of sculptures out of this black oil schist, and once a year they went to get the demons out of the stone, sacrificing to communicate and get the service from the demons. This is one thing mentioned. If you go back in history, you find them in the Kaaba in Mecca, the same form of phallus-shaped structure that is described in Vedic script as Shiva's lingam, that is described in this Lovecraft script. A fragment of it is part of a central part of the Kaaba.
The whole time he's talking about that black goo, this is what I'm thinking about. This is what I'm thinking about.
Como de pensar que esto nació de un meteorito.
This Panama meteorite alien. So when he's talking about black goo, is this one evolving right before millions of people's eyes? The viral meteorite Panama alien.
In a way that you need to realize that actually, if you look into the black magic traditions, when people went to worship black goo stones and then the demons came out of it, this is something that needs further understanding as well. There is one Hollywood film that very precisely shows what this is about. It's basically, the story is about a human couple. She's a scientist, he's, I think, a soldier. And basically everything is already destroyed on planet Earth. And this woman she's a shaman, and she's collecting animal spirits, kind of finding the last surviving animals to pick up their spirit. And then they go to the place where the meteorite came down and find a black goo-like substance. And they manage to infect the alien black goo with the information field of Mother Earth. And then kind of Mother Earth manages to conquer the alien information field, healing the entire planet. So this is basically, I do not know who wrote the script for this film. But there's an extreme deep knowledge, because exactly the setup that is described in the film is the setup that is basically ruling the entire planet since 16,000 years, giving us this type of duality, giving us demons that for me appear to as the lost souls of a biosphere that self-destroyed and came here as a swarm of meteorites. So basically, this is the liquid brain of a different planet brought here by intention, because I don't believe that even if this planet exploded, we should have had like thousands of meteorites without black goo and maybe one with black goo. But what arrived here is only meteorites with black goo. So somebody brought this here by intention, by intention infect this planet with this alien consciousness. And the entities black magicians are talking to must be surviving beings that are not incarnating anymore because they lost their planets, but are still there as the souls of these beings, being highly intelligent. And if you look at the pictures that people painted from, let's say, their visions they had from this type of reality, it seems to be a spider-like species that was running this planet that self-destroyed. So these are like insect biology, spider-like, extremely intelligent and highly developed. And these were called the Archons in our culture. So basically these are beings that started by communicating with people that were willing to communicate. They started to create this black magic entanglement to humanity, and they offered us the possibility to control others. This was something that was actually not within the human nature. All these ideas of running a biosphere not based on love, but based on different emotions. This is what they kind of introduced to this planet. So the first things that came from the black magic rituals was blood and fire sacrifice, killing ritually to gain this biophoton burst that is emitted when a being is in pain, to on one hand, feed the demons. This is what they needed to survive as beings. They didn't have a biology of their own, so they needed to feed on life force in a certain way. And on the other hand, some of the energy extracted by these rituals is also used to pay the people sacrificing, because they want to have worldly powers. So if you want to have worldly power and gain profit, you need ways and means to control other people. And this painful emission of life force, if you know the game of black magic, can be used to force other people to do things they do not want to force, because facing these energies is extremely painful. And this has evolved and developed on our planet, and they switched from, let's say, the biophoton burst from animal and humans. It was changed to a system that is running today on torture energy. We are keeping billions of animals in concentration camp-like conditions on farms, making
Torture energy. That kind of reminds me of Monster Inc., where they had to scare to get those canisters full. Oh man, you know they have to show us before they do anything. It's in the rules.
making them suffer their entire life in cruel to cruelest ways, and then we eat them. Although this is not within our nature. Normally we have long lower intestines. We're supposed to be vegetarians, maybe with a possibility to digest a little meat before we starve as a security thing. But normally we should not scoff meat from morning till evening. So this is actually all coming out of these black magic traditions, being fire and blood sacrifice, to produce torture energies that are utilized by the black magic community to run and rule this planet. So this is kind of the the way that this little incident 16,000 years ago took over our culture, took over our way of living. And actually everything we do today is part of this agenda. This is all about control. Control is giving birth to scarcity. Because if I want to control things, I grab them and do not leave them for others. So the others do not have access anymore. So this is possessing things, owning things. So this is money. The moment I have money, I need a political system to administer all the things. So basically, every quality that we perceive as being normal, because we were born in this, actually is part of this black magic cult. If we go beyond this, before this, we come to a paradise state that is living in abundance, that we all just share free out of love with each other. Nature is giving us so much, we could all live in abundance without any problems, but we are infected by these energies, we are following their ways of control. So what we basically do is we connect ourselves to, not to love, but to torture energy by eating what we eat. This is how this is introduced into our system. And then we let ourselves being guided and ruled by torture energy, being in resonance with this. And this is what we call politics, and this is why politics want to go to war, because this is sacrifice. This is how they work, and this is how they maintain their system. And power is part of this system. We cannot solve a problem.
The tension in America right now is ridiculous. So they're trying to do they're trying to stir something up
By replacing one governor by another one, because the concept of governing is black. We cannot replace a currency by a better currency, because the concept of money is black. So this is kind of, once you start to understand the ways that were introduced by this agenda, you start to realize that we are completely infected. It's like normally we think we are humans, but suddenly we realize no, we are just one big piece of that is running around with the things we do and the things we live, realizing that this is not human.
What an excellent TikTok clip. Oh my goodness, so many gems in that. In the beginning, he was referring to the movie Prometheus. You want to see something even scarier? What if I told you it's a possibility that face huggers might actually be real? Take a look at this. All right, if you're not familiar with a face hugger, it's basically from the Alien movies. They're like in these little sacks, and bam, there they come. That's an actual face hugger, right? All right, take a look at this. Let me show you a real looking face hugger. This is absolutely crazy when I found it. All right, here it is. I'm not sure what this fossil name is, Triceptopod or something like that. Basically, look at these old fossils, and you compare these to the actual face huggers. Do you guys see the similarities? You know, they look very similar. All right, now take a look at this one. You know, since we're talking about this black goo and face huggers, man, this is looking like right up the alley. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if this was the real version of face huggers. Hey, I'm just saying.
The black goo has existed for a while. As you can see here, that has been used by ancient Egyptians for the coffins. It has also been used across movies and media, as shown in the next few slides. Prometheus shows a really interesting concept of how this black goo became involved with aliens and humanity. Deepwater Horizon is based on a true story, and this has affected many people, affected our Earth, and it continues to do so. Let me explain why. What is black goo? According to the British Museum, it is plant oil, animal fat, tree resin, beeswax, and bitumen, a mix of all of these oils, these different ingredients, which is a solid crude oil. I like to think that oil is a sentient being because it poisons our environment. It can even poison our blood, like how humans, our red blood cells, are sentient. We are sentient beings. Do you think that oil can be considered as sentient beings? Looking deeply at the ingredients, when it said tree resin, I see that trees are obviously sentient beings. They're alive. But here's what it says. Tree resin is a liquid that trees produce in response to injury, which hardens to a brittle solid. Trees heal people. Trees has that energy of healing, right? But bitumen is made from living things like plants, animals, and single-cell organisms that have died and been compressed over millions of years. Knowing all of that, of what contains in the black goo, I see that it can also be a way to use for our modern society, especially with AI growing. It can also be provided to AI technologies in any shape or form, however people use it. It could be in a form of powder, gas, who knows? And I see this to be almost becoming true, not really a conspiracy theory anymore, honestly. And this is a way that they can use to control people, control certain things. In Prometheus, you see this black goo be mixed with the human DNA and it creates an alien. Looking at a spiritual basis, the black goo, or also known as black tar, is seen as a negative entity. Especially with seeing your visions, your dreams, it's like foreshadowing something bad may happen. You see a black goo sticking to you. It's like trapping you, not allowing you to move or expand your consciousness. It's hindering you from something. This is what the black goo in all the Hollywood movies and the major news, especially with oil, is showing how it affects humanity, the animals. It traps them, it kills them. It's like a disease, basically, and which is why I say that this black goo is like a sentient being. You consider oil to be a sentient being. I saw a lot of patterns of how black goo was in many different movies. It shows how Hollywood, the elites already know this. It's already part of our society and planet, and it is also a threat to humanity. This is an article by Wire, and it introduces how graphene was found 10 years ago and it is now used daily. It's in our phone. If you continue reading this article, which I recommend you do, you will see how black goo is growing. It's going to be in our AI industry. It's going to be everywhere around us. It's already shown in movies, in TV shows, in music videos too. So it's not surprising if it starts showing up in AI, if it starts being included into the AI or anything that is here to control us. There is already science and research-based fact that the goo is real. It's already in our oil systems. It's shown that it affects humans, our Earth, and with the oil disaster that happened at Deepwater Horizon and also across other countries too, it's growing and it's almost as if it's making our population. This is all harmful shit that can. Whether you think this is a conspiracy theory or not, it's up to you to do your research and find the truth to what we're learning, to what is being hidden. This is not just some spiritual science bullshit. It's becoming very real and it's threatening humanity.
I almost spit this water out when she said that.
Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's create a discussion. Follow for more to learn about spirituality and the mysteries of our world.
Yeah, this black goo is no joke. Yeah, that black goo, it makes this Panama meteorite hit a little bit harder, doesn't it? I'm trying to tell you. He got himself a little bit of black goo on that meteorite. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you thought I didn't have another excellent specimen for you today, think again. All right, feast your eyes on this one. Man, this one is wower. Stunning deep golden calcite crystals perched inside a deep dark basalt. Yeah, I like the flaming effect that it has on the inside, almost like it's being illuminated. How cool is that? I want to hear your guys' names for this specimen, but if I had to name it off the bat, I would call this Petrified Phoenix Emerging. Then we have another stunning one. Wow. Look at all the different little squares. The blue, the purples. Man. Makes me even question if this is real or not, you know? How could something like this form in the wild? This is a question that's running through my mind. I don't even know where to begin to name this second one. What would you guys name it? Husband and wife relaxing by the pool when out of the blue she gets abducted.
All right, we got another one. Y'all check out this video right here. I thought it was crazy. Notice how the lights cut off and then instantly the woman is abducted, disappears. The force is so strong and the husband on the ground, all the lights is off and the camera is distorted. And he's looking for his wife. Extraterrestrials have the technology to distort cameras. In case you didn't know. Look at that. He's looking for her. He don't know where she at and it's dark. This phenomenon is real. Of course, a lot of y'all gonna say it's AI or it's fake. And you have your right to say that. But trust and believe, if something like this happened to you and you tell somebody and you show them footage and they don't believe you, how would you feel?
For entertainment purposes only. Don't believe everything you hear or see on this video. Don't come for me. A family records a cryptid-looking creature emerging out of a cave. I don't know, it's pretty hard to try to get all the way up there. He was definitely giving me Kandahar giant vibes.
Utah is full of ancient melted ruins, giant ancient tree stumps. But here is maybe where the quarry for all those buildings came from. This is Monument Valley in Utah. Take a look at those perfectly cut blocks. Tell me that's not an ancient quarry. Take a look at this video.
However, there's one place that can be found north of Monument Valley that seems way too precise to be the work of nature and erosion. A place with perfectly rectangular and cubic blocks, all possessing exact 90-degree angles and all cut in precise straight lines. A massive portion of the site looks already pre-cut, where all of the blocks look like they were already segmented into precise pieces and left there ready for their extraction. Could this really have been an enormous quarry of an advanced ancient civilization? Does that mean that the site in question could be an ancient quarry from a civilization that was wiped out by a great flood thousands of years ago? Curiously, there are many coral fossils visible on the surface, suggesting the entire site was once underwater.
Is this true that dimensional portals are real? Watch this.
Construction workers are underground working on a government building project. Inside what seems like an ordinary tunnel, something incomprehensible happens that none of them have ever seen before.
It's as if the tunnel has come alive and it's breathing.
The tunnel seems to move as a cloud, repeatedly and very suddenly, appearing and disappearing. Workers who witness it are terrified, including Juan Antonio Sanchez.
La tierra empezó a rugir como de un león. Eso produce mucho temor porque en cualquier momento uno creía que el túnel se podía derrumbar o que podía... Temimos mucho por nuestras vidas.
Footage of the weird pulsing energy baffles scientists.
There's also this booming sound that's associated with it.
Is this dangerous? Is the whole thing going to collapse?
What the hell's going on here?
Physicist Chad Orzel reviews the footage and considers an incredible theory.
There's a very regular pulsation, so it seems like something must be controlling it. If you were going to imagine an intergalactic portal to a distant galaxy, this is what it would look like.
Many physicists are convinced they exist, but nothing like it has ever been filmed. A wormhole or Stargate is considered by some to be a possible future means of interstellar travel.
These kinds of wormholes are frequently used as ways to travel interstellar distances in space. They show up in the movie Stargate, they show up in the movie Interstellar as long-distance travel arrangements. So this seems like a really great idea.
Stargates and wormholes sound like science fiction, but some of the greatest minds in science believe they might be possible.
Introduced by Albert Einstein himself in 1935, a wormhole is a shortcut, a subway system connecting two distant points in space and time.
That's all we have for today's video. If you made it this far, the code word is black goo. When you drop black goo in the comments below, that lets me know you're a real one. You made it all the way through the video. You really rock with your boy. And I just want to say I love you guys and thank you for your support. It means the world to me, honestly. I love hanging out with you guys on these waters. This black goo was an interesting topic, man. I can go for this for hours, but I want to get this video out to you guys early, so we got to wrap it up. But I'm doubling up on you today. Be sure to head over to Jet Ski Chuck later on today, because I may be going live or I may be posting a longer video for you guys. But either way, I'm going to see you later. This was the most disturbing videos on the internet today. See you later.